Hi, and welcome back to Stop Being Sold. My name is Michelle, and I'm here with Brian. And in today's video, we're discussing whether self-directed IRAs are a good idea or not. Now, they're a type of IRA that you direct the investments in, and we're seeing them grow in popularity, especially since you can buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies inside of them with the hopes of better returns. But the million-dollar question is, are they really all they're cracked up to be? And that's exactly what we're discussing in this video today.
Yeah, Michelle, they're definitely becoming more popular, and I've seen a lot of commercials for these and ads online, more than I've seen in quite some time now.
Right.
And I understand why, because the upside to self-directed IRAs is you may make higher returns because of the assets investors are not typically found in a traditional or Roth IRA or even a 401k,
Sure.
at least for now. And also, Michelle, also you have total control over your retirement savings,
Which is huge.
That's huge. You're right. But just because they're popular doesn't mean they're the right investment vehicle for everyone. In fact, you can really mess up your retirement savings with self-directed IRAs if you're not careful.
Absolutely. All right. Before we dive into the content and discuss whether or not they're all they're cracked up to be, go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe like the video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, so you never miss another video from us. Wouldn't want to do that, would you, Brian?
No.
No.
Please don't miss them.
Exactly. All right. So self-directed IRAs allow you to invest in assets that are not allowed in traditional IRAs. For example, real estate, crypto, gold, there's commodities, tax liens, and a bunch of other alternative investments. I think even limited partnerships. But self-directed IRAs do not allow you to invest in things that the IRS deems as collectibles, right? So we're looking at art, antiques, rugs, any alcoholic beverages, and anything else that the IRS says is collectible. It's pretty straightforward. You can do this, you can't do that. But there are other rules that investors must be aware of and secondly follow. Otherwise, as you mentioned before, it can get costly and you may screw up your retirement.
That's so true, Michelle. There are so many different rules here, but failure to know these rules and adhere to them can be very costly to your retirement. So let's start with this one. Self-directed IRA cannot work with a disqualified person. This is key. IRS says you cannot use a self-directed IRA to benefit you personally or your beneficiaries. Kind of different in the normal stance of retirement planning, right? Because aren't you doing things for yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah, self-directed. So, for example, you cannot take the income of one of your investments and place it into your own personal bank account. Makes sense the way they've got this set up. It must go into the self-directed IRA.
Okay.
Some other disqualified people, according to the IRS, are like your relatives, or businesses which you receive payments from, family members, and any entities owned by any disqualified person.
Okay.
So, also, some transactions that are not allowed. They're called prohibited transactions inside a self-directed IRA.
Okay.
You cannot lend or give money to a disqualified person. You can't transfer assets from an IRA to a disqualified person.
Okay.
And if you're selling assets you already own personally, you can't sell them to the IRA.
Got
Makes
it.
sense.
Okay.
And think about this, Michelle. This is the key with all this here. What the IRS calls a prohibited transaction can immediately make your whole IRA taxable. This is huge.
Okay, so if you make one of these prohibited transactions, I get it, your whole IRA is taxable, but are they forcing you then to shut it down or close it out? What does that look like?
Michelle, it's basically it's done at that time.
So they make you liquidate the whole thing.
Yeah. So that's what's happening. And the key is, Michelle, because it's self-directed, IRS is throwing it to you that you have to do this. You have to know these rules and these guidelines, but they can make it taxable immediately in that year. So that means it's done.
Okay. So it's up to you. And that is, I think that is the biggest I wouldn't say disadvantage. It's also the advantage, right? Which is that it's up to you to direct this. But if you're not keeping up with these rules, and you got to be responsible for the investment choices and the rules, period. Otherwise, you can, I don't know anybody who would all of a sudden wake up one day and want to have a liquidated IRA and pay the taxes on that.
No.
Thank you, right?
Especially think of the larger assets that can go into this.
Yeah.
Imagine making all that taxable immediately.
Nope. Don't want to think about it. All right. So question on this, or follow-up question here. What about getting financial advice from an advisor, like a financial advisor, on what you should and shouldn't do with a self-directed IRA?
I can answer that from the advisor standpoint.
Sure.
Okay. They could give you advice.
Okay.
But most won't.
Okay.
Number one, this opens them up to liabilities on investments that they did not advise you on.
Okay.
Okay. And inside self-directed IRAs, fraud is common in these types of investments. And most advisors would not want to put their reputation or their firm's reputation on the line for this.
Got it.
And also, it's important to note that with self-directed IRAs, your custodians even will not give you investment advice. So like the Schwabs, the TDs, and whatever, they're all changing names now, but your custodian cannot and will not give you investment advice on whatever you're investing in. So you'll see them make disclosures in their documents and on their website that they're not giving you investment advice and you're choosing to invest at your own will. That's how much liability is in here.
Sure.
With self-directed IRAs, Michelle, you must do everything from setting up the account, researching the investments, making the trades, monitoring your trades, understanding the rules, and keeping the account compliant in the eyes of IRS.
Yeah, it's a lot. All right. So let's talk about fees on these. Do they differ from traditional IRAs? Are they more? Like on average? I know that each one of them is going to be different based on the custodian.
Yeah, they can, your fees in a self-directed IRA can be substantially higher than fees in accounts inside like an IRA. Okay. Sure. Some of these fees could be because custodians could charge you higher setup fees, maintenance fees, annual holding fees, custodial fees, and other type of fees, depending on what investments that you have inside that self-directed IRA. Okay. And these can be very high and also eat into your potential gains. For example, I just seen a self-directed crypto IRA that was charging, Michelle, 15% setup fees on your initial investment. Ouch. 15%. So if you invested $100,000, your initial setup fee would be $15,000
right out of the gate. Yeah,
right out of the gate. So how long would it take you to earn just this fee back, let alone all the extra fees that were also inside this account?
I'm going to go on a limb here and bet a lot longer than most investors would like.
So true. So true.
Oof. Well, let me ask you this.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Let me ask you this. Let's say there's say I'm the kind of person who can stay up and wants to stay up on, for example, up to date on the IRS rules and the self-directed IRA rules. And I feel confident in my investing knowledge and skills. Goes back to the title of this video. Are self-directed IRAs a good idea, providing you find one that doesn't have those insane fees?
Oh, yeah, they definitely can be a great idea. If you love investing, if you like doing research, on your investments, if you want more control over your investments, if you want the potential of increased returns, and you want to hedge your investments against volatility or economic conditions, they can be a great retirement vehicle for you. They aren't right for those with little or no investment experience, though, and they're definitely are not right for those who don't pay attention to details or have the time to keep up on the research on the rules and keeping up on with IRS, number one. So,
yep, I think that's a big thing. And without risk, there's no reward, right? So it's something, as we've always talked on this channel, you have to do your own research and you have to know your retirement goals or your financial goals, and you have to know you have those objectives, and then you back into the right vehicle for you, not just because everyone else is doing it or you're seeing commercials on it.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Just because there's a famous actor talking about self-directed IRA
right.
with crypto or gold or whatever it may be, doesn't mean it's the best thing for you, even though you watch all 30 years of episodes of that actor, right?
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. I understand. All right. So Brian, thank you so much for this great information. Listen, here's the deal. If you like the content of this video, hit that like button, help us grow this channel. We are growing leaps and bounds, which is super exciting. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't miss another video from us. Hit that notification bell as well. And if you've got questions about self-directed IRAs, drop them below this video. We're more than happy to answer them and make videos on them. All right. Thank you, Brian, for everything. And thanks to everyone who watched.
Thanks, everyone.